Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have 2v2 for you guys today on Hell in a Very Small Place. I'm playing as Yugoslavia, and my ally Maple Syrup is playing as, I believe, USSR. Yes, it looks like it. Our two opponents here, the Captain, Wombat to Combat spelled backward, and Union, are going to be playing the Blue 4 side, and Wombat, the Captain, is playing a Aussie deck, I believe. So just the Australian military, we'll see how that goes. And my initial movement here was really sloppy. I was attack moving these guys for God knows what. No, actually I think that should be a fast, but I don't know. My movement there got messed up, and this is all going really slowly, and right off the bat we have an L-17K going in for a kill, not being able to get it because that was landed helicopter on that side, and I get kind of smacked over here. So lots of Rover Wombats giving to combat his name. After all, I guess I should have expected that. And my M84AN is moving up relatively unsupported as the T-55s are just way too far back, and all of this is bogged down in the woods. I do have infantry moving over on the left-hand side, and, well, Maple is having a bit more of a successful time, so we'll take a look over here for just a second as BTRTs and MTLBVs are depositing infantry way forward in the front. A couple of T-72 OBRs are also going to be providing some really wonderful armor-piercing fire support against Union's forces. So my stuff is here, it's getting into where it needs to be, albeit so slowly, and the Sava and Drug are on this side as well. The Drug, this was a weird placement, I was just trying it out, I don't like it here, but the intention was to shoot down this straightaway at stuff on the corner, right? So I guess I was assuming I would lose that section of the woods, which I have, to be fair. I mean, my opponent is all the way over here, and I'm very much not, so I should have done that a lot differently, put everything on the left-hand side that I wanted to get over to this left-hand corner, and then just gone down the straight. But, I mean, hey, live and learn, right? In the meantime, Sapri, BTRTs, and Motostrelki are just chewing through Union's Blue Dragon's infantry. Sujabuntai not happy with what's going on right here, and the T-72 is moving up, trying to claim this corner with a little bit of help from smoke coming off the town, and then if they can get into the goodie box there and kill those closed arrows, it'll be a really nice time. But looks like a bit of a retreat here, and the BTRTs and Sapri are getting chewed through, and they will be by Nanayon Cheeky Gs. I mean, these guys with their frag launchers are very good at their job. Sorry, I've had a bit of a raw throat the last couple of days, not really sure entirely why. D55As are moving up, and my Proletary are forming a screen here. This needed to be up here way earlier in those old M60s, so this is called a bad opener. That's what that is. But live and learn, and I do tend to have the best strategy is just no strategy at all, just send things forward. And you'll see a lot of those F-111Cs here in this match. I think they are probably one of the best tools that Anzac has available, just wonderful bombers. Vickers Mark 11s also really wonderful units. So these guys, of course, are basically like RCSBs, except I think, yeah, I mean, 17 AP power I think is a bit higher, but of course they are 5 points more expensive. 100 kilometers per hour off-road speed, 2 frontal armor, and just incredibly deadly ambushers when they can get into position and get that stuff going. But we do have finally something going on in Boris Proletary moving up past Pragas and OM60Ps providing some fire support. I have also a Droog team on this side which has gotten, I think, a single kill there and will be moving up even farther. Ooh, might get, no, not able to get one of the Wombats in that stack. But Proletary are trying to secure the town here, and past Praga doing a little bit of work with that secondary weapon. And this was, I was feeling relatively confident about this, just because of the amount of stuff that was over in Feder at the time. Usually where your opponent is strong is a good indication of where you should attack, or where you should avoid attacking, to then concentrate somewhere else. But there have been a lot of losses here, and an F-111C is going to make that relatively even. Proletary, 2 healthy groups, and then we have no healthy groups. So infantry that could have well held their own against SASR in a prolonged fight. I mean, these guys are shock troops, and with the outnumbering plus the support from the M60Ps, that could have been pretty nice, were instead mercilessly killed. M84A shooting in at commandos, but taking a shot from a TOW 2 and not able to get the kill there from the TOW 2, but I mean, that was kind of embarrassing to be forced to retreat from that position. So M84A moving back is going to be healed up. ADN over here is actually spotted by something, and this was terrifying. I was sitting there going, alright, I'm playing against a captain. There's a reason he's a captain, I'm sergeant, and yeah, not great. But Union and Maple are continuing to sort of punch things out over here. Skrejet's bringing up usually VDV-90, and those and Habyung-90 are going to be very deadly for these remaining Motostrelki. They're not up to the task, and neither are the Sapri on this side. So, Spetsnaz Group moving up, this will be able to get a nice ambush on the right-hand side of Union's position. But Yeah, things are looking a little bit rough. The M84AN sparring with the two Vickers is not something I really want to have happen, so I thought they were back farther on that side and they were rotated forward without me seeing, but we do get one of them, and we managed to get out of dodge, and this was wonderful. The Droog team on this corner, I really like doing this. I'm going to probably do this again quite often. We are able to kill a tracked Rapier with that Droog team. 2 shots, 1 hit, 1 kill, and very worthwhile. I mean, the 2 Droogs, I think, are less expensive than a single one of the tracked Rapiers, so that at least was a good trade for us. So the command infantry here is on their own, and that is going to be a bit of a problem as another F-111C. I mean, just so many bombers, so many bombers. Evac ordered that time. I'm not entirely sure why he didn't drop, and he very well could have just done a blind drop on this side. I guess there's no reason to suspect anything was there, and he might be trying to save the reload time on the airplanes, because if they don't drop their bombs, they're going to be a bit quicker, so that I guess works. F-111C also supporting on this side, and just brutal work by those Aussie planes, but we do get the kill there. It looks like Osa able to get it done, and then my ally unfortunately losing some of his stuff, but I think overall that was a good trade for us. Ooh, it might have been the Tor. Another Tor going in, another hit. Down to 3 strength left on that F-111C, but he does manage to get out, so not exactly what my side of the field wants to see going on. However, I am unfortunately at this point letting down my ally a little bit, getting sort of caught down, trying to recover a little bit, trying to get enough firepower up here to handle that sort of pressure and get just, I mean, things screening as well. Hera 2's shot down, which I guess shouldn't really have been a surprise, but I was trying to test out these NRZs. Plum and A's, of course, are very powerful rocket pods, and unfortunately there's just an RBS there that was it RBS? RBS might be the Swedish version, I guess. And yeah, my NRZ is not going to have a long life. Let's take a look. Next missile should do him in. Maybe. No, actually, I had more than enough time to get him out of here, but I wanted to get another volley off, and that was successful. This guy killed, I think, 2 units of infantry, which is quite good enough for me, and I'm trying to move him back in a way, but not quite far enough. That's the infantry right there that's doing it, moving in. But there is an attack on this side. My Droog team is right there. They're very fragile. Graniciari and the Oats are not going to be enough to protect, so I'm moving them forward to screen while my other infantry is somehow, some way, trying to get into position here, but these guys are moving pretty slowly through the woods, and that is going to be a rough fight indeed. OH-1 Ninja maybe a little bit too close for comfort, as that BTR-90 on the side. Well, I guess the 2A72 isn't the best autocannon around, and is at long range. So the Ninja does get away. Spetsnaz grew, I mean, this is beginning to get a little bit oppressive. Usually, if the Blue 4 side, from what I've seen, can't keep this forest clear, it's going to be a very hard day, because, I mean, oh, that's actually really brutal. Nice. I like the AH-1S play. That Hydra rocket pod that it has is quite deadly indeed, but Tukjun Sa have ambushed the command infantry back here, Motostrelki and an MT-LBV fighting for their lives, but Tukjun Sa are very nice. I only wish that Mini-Me was off, because the Carl Gustav could have been able to kill that LBV very quickly, and then Tukjun Sa would have run right through the Motostrelki. So, a bit of a misplay there on Union's part, but they are trying their hardest, and yeah, I mean, it was a good move. It very nearly worked. Very nearly worked. So, I am bringing up infantry. I'm going to be trying to support Maple on the side of the map here in Fetter, and we're just trying to get more infantry up on this side as well, as my Passporag is destroyed, and I've really lost a hold in Boris, and right now we're up 43 points to 4, but there's nothing ticking. We have some infiltration issues to deal with in Gregory. I'm trying to get some Hera 2s around the side to make sure that nothing happens to us there, but it's kind of touch and go. I mean, L-17K coming in again, and I'm going for the AH-1S. See if we can get the missiles off. We do. We get the kill. And yeah, I mean, not a good trade for me. The L-17K is more expensive, but that guy was, I mean, that helicopter was just brutally effective against Maple's infantry and vehicles, which just couldn't be allowed to continue. So I was sacrificing that to hopefully clear things up a little bit. A Geomat firing in, and the one remaining T-72 returning fire, 64% chance to hit, and there it is. I only wish there was something on that side that could hit that K1. That was a really wonderful opportunity. That was there. Proletary did buzzsaw through this one, and if I'm talking a little bit fast this time around, I'm just, well, let's call it motivated to get this one through, because this was a really fun game, and it was a while back, and yeah, I've been playing a little bit, played quite a few games this past weekend, and I want to get them up, and I wanted to let you guys let you guys see these games rather, because I really just do enjoy this game quite a bit. SASR, these were the ones that were probably in the town earlier, and they have moved up. Woods fighting versus town fighting is not going to be successful for the woods fighter, especially against elite infantry, and with that artillery support as well, which I was trying to get out of the way of. Droog team is still alive, Proletary's still here, M84s, we have 2 of them, and 2 ANs on this side as well. We're building up to an attack, but it is going to be a little while yet. I'm not good at doing that quickly, and when I struggle with the opener, which is often, it can take a while to build up an offensive that has any chance of succeeding other than just being sneaky. But Droog teams here are able to get a couple more kills. It's just stallies, it's just things like that. It's probably Wombat testing things out, seeing where he still needs to bomb, or if I still had a big presence on this side. But Union is making a bit of a comeback, and you can see Maple stuff is being kind of cleared out a little bit. Syujo Buntai, just by the dozens, are moving through here. Spetsnaz and Motostrelki can only stand up to so many of those units at once. And I think there has been a couple other buys by Maple as well, maybe some planes, that are detracting a little bit from the ground force here. Plus, he's had to cover my weakness a little bit, so VDV and Skrezhets supporting me in Fetter, when they otherwise could have been supporting that push in Gregory. More Sapri being called out, and my own BVPs are trying to move over here to return the favor just a little bit. Hera 2 actually does get around, and I was trying to kill something, anything at all, and not able to do it, and there's going to be AA taking those guys down pretty soon. But Proletary moving up, I'm getting a long, just sort of slow engagement here, but it's not one that's going to be a winning one after a little while. Commandos 90 weren't there originally, and I thought if I could just spar with the SASR from the side and then come at them on the straightaway, that might be able to get something done. But instead, my Proletary do die very, very horrible deaths, and just, I don't know, it was a bit of a stalemate at this point, but Habyung 90 from Union moving down this side do have the potential to mess that up, because there's nothing between him and my Sava and this BMD2K. I need to move the Proletary back, but I don't think I quite saw it at the time, and that's why they're being a little bit sluggish. So there's nice potential there. I'm curious if they're going into this side or if they're going to go to support in Gregory, which could also be very, very messy for Maple. Mirage is coming in and does kill the Hera 2, but we did spot the CV in Elena. And then I also just watched it, so it moved from right here to over here and stopped. And because of that, we kind of know where to go to hit it. Which, if we take a look, that's L15M is already on the way. Mirage is going to intercept, unfortunately does miss. So that very well could have ended that bombing run, but here's the L15M, and let's see, moved back and taken down. So that +2 in Elena is temporarily cleared. That's going to allow us to get a nice +2 ticking here for a while. Commandos 90 moving up, but Proletary in the woods are going to be a brutal fight for them, especially when I have reinforcements just arriving with Proletary 90. So maybe, I don't know, it's an interesting thing. If you don't keep this section clear, then you can allow a counter cap, and a very nice counter cap at that. But the F111C there is brutal. My Proletary 90 just brought into the field, taken out, and I haven't really had the points to set up the AA net that I need, which, I mean, it's one of those things where if you do have the points and you can set it up, then you're going to be a little bit safer. If you don't, then you're never going to, because by the time you get replacements, there's more bombers, and my Podobranki recently unloaded on this side, spotted by recon infantry and taken out. So that was, 130 points just wasted by Wombat to Combat's bomber with its accurate strike there. BDV-90 and the Habyung have come to ambush them. This is a fight that Habyung should win just by virtue of having more strength. You can see that's already telling a little bit. The VDV are getting kills, but the Habyung, interesting. Maybe they've had some bad rolls. Panicked, everyone here is panicked. But BTR and Sapries are coming to the rescue of those VDV if they can get there in time. And with that, the Habyung are going to be forced back just a little bit. VDV also popping up over the top from Maple Syrup, getting some good shots off there. And I'm just trying to consolidate just a little bit more. Because if I can get some more infantry here and we can collapse in on this side, I might be able to get something done. Proletary fighting off against Oslov PCs. Not the best sort of thing ever. These guys with the M72 laws don't have very much anti-tank power, but I mean, they're still shock training, they have good accuracy, it's going to be okay. Proletary now supporting on my side, having gotten up that far, but jeez. Bihos shred those Sapri, and they'll do the same thing to anything that gets out in the open. So We need the BTRT up there with that nice frontal armor to distract while something else gets the kill. Proletarian 90 also could if I went up and over, which is what we're going to try right now, but if he doesn't have a target he's already shooting at, and I give him enough time, very well could kill the Proletary. So to answer that, some mortars are going to be firing in there and trying to stun him, panic him, and let the Proletary 90 do their thing, but the VDV actually get the kill instead. So Proletary sparring with SASR, and I've sent infantry after infantry after infantry into these woods, and it's just become a death trap, which I imagine is probably because it's an obvious approach, and I'm playing against a captain who is good against obvious approaches, but F-111Cs, I can just look at that. Two more. Ugh. Gross. And my command vehicle is taken out, and so is all of my infantry. I'm bringing in more, but jeez. That's a little bit of revenge for that CV kill in Elena. We are still ticking at a +1 as Feder has been capped at 211 points to 4. This is going to get rough for opponents here relatively soon. L15Ms coming in, and I think we did just manage to get those SASR. Yep, wiped them off the field just a little bit there, so pretty nice for us. But it's a hollow victory, right? Because we've lost so much to similar. Luckily, though, my bombers were able to also get out. Evac ordered off the F1. I think he failed to fire, which is a little bit unfortunate. The ones with the right click with those guided bombs can be a little bit tricky for that if you don't have perfect vision. Mirage coming in, but the 25 PD is already out, and you can see this forest is still contested, and the blue 4 side is struggling, right? So this allows offensives up and around the side. Those can be exceedingly costly as well. L17K almost kills a Mirage. Evac ordered, but AA is there, and that's those tracked rapiers trying to get at him, and it looks like both actually get out, so I don't know. I thought it would be funny to kill something like a Mirage and L17K, and I nearly did it. 1 point away. A little bit of extra accuracy on the gun or a better roll would have been enough to make the difference. So, Proletary and M60Ps accompanying my allies' push here as a tour. It's trying to get rid of that F1 seaplane, though. Block 52D should be able to answer, and there's the missile, but it did not make contact, and instead is being chased off by a MiG. So let's see. MiG gets the kill, and that has to be brutal, not being able to get the kill off the tour, and then losing the plane. So, UH-1H Huey's moving over. I didn't actually see that at the time. I tend to play a little bit too zoomed in, and, well, just, I didn't see it. And I didn't see it on the minimap, because it was very brief, and I was looking over here. So, I'm trying to get better at it. It's something, it's difficult for me to adjust. I already play farther about than I used to, which is a statement. Not a great statement, but a statement nonetheless. The one thing that we can rely on in this game so far is that Gregory has been an absolute bloodbath, as bad for Union as Boris has been for me. So, Proletary 90 now leading the way, BVP's up here, but BVP's just get wrecked. This one's only alive because he was detracked, and at least these guys will be able to get a nice hurt on enemy reinforcements. So, that was more SASR, but they're in Pinsgauers, which are 5 strength, I believe, transports, and we killed one right off the bat as he was coming in. So, that at least is some silver lining as this fight just continues to be pretty brutal. I need to turn off the M82s, and there it is. So they're not firing because they were right-clicked. Attack move solves that problem, takes down those transports nice and easy. UH-1H Huey's moving over the back, and this is just revenge for me being a dick in Elena. He said so as much. Sorry, he said as much at the time, and I definitely did deserve it. So these guys are going to spot my VKB. Even though my Browning was off, and I was trying not to fire back. This is sort of the row where you expect it. L17K is a little bit too late to answer. They were just that little bit too late. And he's going to do the same trick to me. So you see my VKB is moving back, and he saw the direction it was going, right? So there should be a bomber here in just a second. I thought I could maybe distract by moving a bit further than expected, but here's the F-111C. And there's the bombing run. Bombs on the way. Oof. Man, I need to play more Commonwealth because I miss having those F-111Cs at my disposal. It's just, it's a very, very nice tool to have. So, at this point, Wombat's infantry are being deployed over on our right side, their left side, to battle with those BATRTs, but that's not exactly going great either. There's a BMPT also supporting, and this Maple has just had really his go of that side of the board there with the BTRTs. Brutally effective. I can never make them work that well for me, but yeah, I have no complaints about this. For the moment, however, our opponents do have a +2. Commandos 90 ambushed some of my reinforcements here, and I did lose a unit of Proletary, but the remainder should be able to mop that up decently. I mean, Commandos versus Proletary is a hard fight, but we're fresher than they are. They're already shaken. We're only at worried, and the M60P should be able to get a little bit of extra fire support down there. But Commandos 90 on the right-hand side, trying that infiltration trick again. This time we are ready for them, and there's more artillery coming in now, trying to get something done there. And I said I was only consolidating a little bit. Turns out a little bit kind of means 20 minutes. Not great, but yeah, such is life. L15N coming in, and the Commandos here not able to get out of the way quite quick enough, so those bombs are going to be able to take out all but 4, and the remaining Proletary should be able to kill that unit of Commandos 90. So we are getting some bombing run revenge, but it's a day late and $1 short, I guess I would say. So yeah, it's kind of rough. Replacement CV is out. I'm trying to put it somewhere else. There's 2 strategies to this. You can put it somewhere else and hope that there's enough space that's not spotted, or you can put it in the exact same damn spot and have your opponent think, what idiot would put it in the place where it already was? 2 trains of thought. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's really just luck of the draw as things go. But Commandos 90 here being very resilient, dealing with Mostrelki better than I had hoped that they would. And MTLBVs plus that MI8 MTV not able to get their guns online quick enough. It's actually taking some damage, but it's really difficult to shoot rocket pods at infantry in the woods sometimes. So at this point I was telling Maple, hey, move away, move away, move away, move away, as the L15M comes in to solve that problem. Wasn't really necessary at this point. A little bit of friendly fire there. I do apologize. But better safe than sorry when those command infantry are just back there waiting to get slaughtered by some Commandos 90. So Spetsnaz Guru are finally overwhelmed. Rover Wombat and So Chung Su working together to take him down, and we have to get on the move. So the M84As are going to go in now. Leopard AS1s, AS1 or A51, can never tell, are taken out by the M84As, but that was a Vickers. 17 AP power to the side armor of an M84A, turns out, is pretty nice, particularly at less than full range too. So this guy, very sad M84 here, not really pleased with how that worked out. But my M84ANs are going to be moving up shortly. L15 bombers coming in, trying to get some work done here. But we did spot some enemy AA there. We might be able to do something about it. TOE2's targeted, one of them taken down by the Droogs. So again, I just love this positioning here for the ATGM teams. I'm happy that they've survived the whole game because I did not expect that. Another L15M coming in, one last bombing run, but double stack of tracked rapiers back there, and we're not going to be able to escape paying the piper that time around. So M84A going in. It looks like that last Vickers was still barely alive. Yep, that's the Vickers. Very distinctive vehicle. But M84A, with the assistance of that bomber, is able to take him out. So not exactly cost effective, but it was prohibitive for us moving up, right? Because if he got the first look, both of these tanks are dead. That's just how it's going to go. So we're rounding the top, and the M84As should be able to do some pretty good work here, getting some nice shots in, but Rover Wombat's pounding into the side armor there is pretty unfortunate. Leopard AS1 does get taken out there, and this firing computer reset was brutal. 7% accuracy on that gun, and that's going to be a useless tank here, as the M84AN's just, I mean, it's not enough rate of fire, right? So these guys, very cheap vehicles, you need cheap fire support to clear them out, and I didn't have it. Otherwise, what you're going to have is a long, prolonged engagement where Kahu is going to come in and punch your M84, and you're going in with an L19 here and get a little bit of revenge, and everything feels hunky-dory. There's a TOE2, but then there's another Skyhawk, and then you just get sad because the Skyhawk, I was trying to get his stats up there, but we lost vision on him. It's just bad. So M84AN, we got a couple kills with it, but definitely should have done better than we did as the Skyhawk comes in and just pounds that tank right in the front there. My smoke, a little bit too late. If I had done that probably about 2 seconds earlier, we would have been fine. We'd gone right into the smoke, those planes would have lost their vision, and yeah, that would have been it. But as it is, we are now pushing up from Gregory into Feder. We have a resurgence here in Boris as well, and this is going to be a hard thing for our opponents to come back from. Basically only one place for their CV, which is in this corner, but it didn't die, and I was thinking to myself, is that because it's not there? It's there. It's just right on that edge. Beautiful placement from Union. And it's armored, so kind of hard to kill. F-111C is going in again. That was... jeez. I'm making a Commonwealth deck after this recording, that's what I'm doing, because I need to use those guys again. They are just beautiful, beautiful planes. Actually did survive the 25 PD as well, so that MiG not able to quite get the kill, and Revenge Bombing Run coming in from Maple might be able to do something about it, but yeah, not nearly as effective. I mean, the 1,000 kilogram bombs just have a blast radius that makes it very, very nice, to say the least. So, Hera 2 is going up and around the side. My Salva here has been useless the whole time, but we have enough of a hold now on Boris that I'm hoping that we can just countercap this again, get some sort of +1 ticking, maybe take out that Yonshiki CV, and go from there. So my other M84A is moving up. L15M is trying to take out those MRA and Stollies and see if they are on target. A little bit short. Oops. And a Mirage is coming in as well. But L15M, looking for that tank CV, does actually get out. No, down to 2. And killed. Didn't think so. And just a little adjustment there from Union is able to move that CV, and he's still alive. But, you know, he's barely breathing, so we'll get there eventually. BMPT doing some decent work here, but a Bushranger and some Rover Wombats are potentially able to change that. Bushranger doesn't have any ATGMs, but rocket pods can stun long enough for the Rovers to get good kills, which is how that combo tends to work. My Droogs, I mean, these vehicles did use all their missiles, so that's worth something. And the combined air power here of the Red 4 side is able to pound through there. Finally, also, we're able to get enough men in Boris to make some progress there. Now, the only reason that worked is because Wombat has been pouring infantry into Gregory for so long that he wasn't able to reinforce here as much as I was, because he was definitely winning that fight through sheer use of bombers. I was not, and the only reason that these proletariat are built up so much is just advantage on the other side of the board. So whenever you are winning a game because of your ally, I think it's probably good manners to thank them. So hats off to you, Maple, for a wonderfully played game. F111C coming in, and it looks like a bit of a mistake there. Didn't drop his bombs and gets absolutely ambushed. 3 planes, 2 L-17Ks trying to get the kill there, competing with a MiG 25 PD, and actually don't know who got the kill. We'll have to check that after the game, but yeah, it was rough to say the least. And with that, that's pretty much going to be the straw that broke the camel's back here for the Blue 4 team, as another offensive's coming in. Boris is lost, and we don't even really have time to push in the center there before the game is surrendered. So, kills and losses, 6,100 for the Red 4 team, 4,275 for Blue. Very rough, very atrocious game, and even though I got the absolute hell bombed out of me, most of it was 15-point infantry, just base proletary, and 5-point transports, so it wasn't quite as bad as it looked, other than when we lost the Podobranki, which I'll never live down the shame of that. That was nearly 10% of my losses there. In terms of units that did very well, the M84AN did pretty good work. I mean, Oslovs, Vickers, Tracked Rapier, maybe not quite worth it, but I'm not complaining about that by any stretch. L17K got a UH-60P and an AH-1S. I guess that's okay. And the other L17K did take down a Ninja as well as a Bushranger, so that was definitely worthwhile. And L15 bombing runs. I like these bombers. They have enough to take down infantry, but also enough cluster to deal with IFVs. Not a full-fledged tank, but IFVs is something. L17K did actually get the kill on the F111C. It would have died to something, but I'm glad that it was me. Yeah, that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.